Number 10, TimeCop, 1997. Jean-Claude Van Damme has taught us many important life lessons throughout the years. Also throughout the years, Jack Logan from the Time Enforcement Commission continued with Van Damme's job, minus the agility. Time sled technology has fallen into criminal hands, and these time bandits open Pandora's box in each episode. In the pilot episode, repeat offender Ian Pascoe, a homicidal maniac, travels back to Victorian London to steal Jack the Ripper's thunder and become history's greatest serial killer. That's the sort of stuff you can expect throughout the minutiae of the remaining 9 episodes. Logan is constantly on standby to thwart crooks aiding the Third Reich with nuclear technology to use for their V1 and V2 rockets, and stopping a $10 million diamond heist, par exemple. However, in true Van Damme fashion, Logan's greatest deed was giving Ann Thompson, Jack the Ripper's 5th victim, the nudge she needed to really go for that career as an artist. Time's up. Number 9, The Visitor, 1997. Your pineal gland is about to open up wide. That's what happened to Adam. 50 years ago, Adam MacArthur was abducted by aliens, but he returned to Earth in 1997 to save humanity from our inevitable extinction. He hasn't aged a day since his abduction, but his hair grew like a big fat Greek wedding casualty. His ship was shot down during a training maneuver over international waters and crashed. Now he roams the US of A, spreading the word and proof that all life is a precious force unto itself. I guess that he's pro-life. During his abduction, the aliens unlocked untapped regions of his brain. Unhindered by the built-in cerebral firewalls, Adam enjoys some really interesting superhuman powers, which he uses for good and enlightenment. But the US Army wants to dissect and study him. But Adam rises above it and soars like a 1990s PSA.
Okay, now cue the music and that star thing.
Number 8, Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, 1994. By far, TTAFBH is the worst show that I've ever covered, so this is going to be quick. So quick that I won't agonize over details or continuity of editing. Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers knockoff that received 2 seasons despite the painfully stereotypical characters, monoplot, and choreography. 4 cardboard teens from Beverly Hills are summoned by a pulsating goiter,
I have a name,
to defend Earth from this villain whose only threat is to himself because his plan sucks. He unleashes a handful of ineffectual monsters to the desert where TTAFBH's stunt doubles fight them with gymnastics. Jesus Christ, look at that. It must be some kind of Cirque du Soleil stuff going on that roof. But that dog penis rubbing on their tattoos is pretty funny. These tattooed teens must maintain their secret, or the shitty villain will discover their identities and come looking for them. All the same, they flirt with letting the cat out of the bag every episode by going against his main rule. No hanging out. Absolutely no hanging out. So this show is part Saved by the Bell and part Power Rangers and all diaper. There aren't many redeeming features about this should-be-forgotten series that somehow produced 40 episodes. But if you're a masochist, have at it. Number 7, Man and Machine, 1992. This deuce didn't stand the test of time. In fact, NBC cut Man and Machine loose after only 4 episodes. And for what it's worth, this sci-fi police drama follows Detective Bobby Mann and his hot robot partner, Sergeant Eve Edison, and their criminal investigations in near-future Los Angeles. The series' clever title is all the setup you need. Edison is a learning computer who is programmed to not only imitate human behavior, but learn what it is to be human, unlocking emotional responses as she does. The visual style of this show is an eyesore, and the intro is just ridiculous. Apart from Yancey Butler's performance, there's not much to write home about. I guess everyone else felt the same because even Rotten Tomatoes is silent. As if Man and Machine was deleted. Number 6, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1992. What the duck is this? Bill and Ted's Excellent Movie Adventure,
Party on, dudes!
was a decent dumb comedy, but Fox jumped the shark with this short-lived and live-action forgotten debacle. The cliff notes are that Bill and Ted no longer strive to pull off the Spicoli challenge.
That was my skull! I'm so wasted!
By passing history, thereby ensuring humanity's utopian future. In the TV spin-off, the duo get involved in episodic goofiness and weirdness, like how Bill's stepmother, Missy, makes it a habit of flirting with him.
Sure, Missy. Mom?
Bill and Ted sail through all the obstacles set before them with their patented gung-ho, whoa attitude. Straight up, I couldn't commit to watching every episode, but I was amused and perplexed with what I saw. I'm not saying that it's good, but my god, if you're into having your brain reduced to pulp, look no further.
No way!
Bill and Ted's excellent adventure is a head trip, and Christopher Kennedy manages a decent Keanu Reeves imitation.
Bitchin'.
Number 5, Homeboys in Outer Space, 1996. I bet you never expected a mashup of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, In Living Color, and Star Trek dropping on UPN in 1997. Homeboys in Outer Space crisscrossing the galaxy in sci-fi sitcom style in their space-age lowrider Space Hoppity. I mean, shit, this sounds awesome, especially if you were a fan of teen comedies on TV in the 1990s. The premise is clearly stated in the intro.
Seek out new life forms
and sleep with them.
The astronauts are Tiberius Ty Walker and his co-pilot Morris Clay, who are a couple of spacefaring opportunists, kind of like Han and Chewie. And I say no harm, no foul to this fun, lowbrow romp. The jokes mostly land on their marks, the ones that don't promptly float off into space. In some ways, Homeboys reminds me of the early Red Dwarf aesthetic. The supporting cast are really entertaining. Everyone's great. Space Hoppity's onboard computer is the no-filter LaQuisha.
You? Damn.
The rest are really well-considered TV comedy characters who constantly take the piss and deal in sexual innuendo. Ty, for example, has perpetual blue balls.
I would break you in half.
And both pieces would be smiling.
Amma, the sexy leather-clad vixen who's as fierce as a Klingon warrior, really stands out for obvious reasons.
You must mate with one of them before the volcano toss.
Please, baby, please, baby, 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 please.
James Doohan, Scotty from Star Trek, and Sherman Hemsley, George Jefferson himself, even make appearances. So what can I say? The glass is half full on this one. Number 4, Total Recall 2070, 1999. Get down! The Philip K. Dick inspired series Total Recall 2070 boasts both elements of Total Recall, well, actually Dick's short story. We can remember it for you wholesale in 1982's Blade Runner. So this entry is technically a double dicking. David Hume is top detective at the CPB, the Citizens Protection Bureau. His partner is gunned down by advanced androids, galvanizing Hume's contempt for androids. This is until he's surreptitiously paired with Ian Favre, a prototype alpha model skin job. The consortium is a monopolistic group of corporate giants free of government regulation, scrutiny, and control. Two of the big players are Recall and Uber Braun, who create utility androids. It's a hero's journey into the depths of action and intrigue as the duo uncover multiple consortium plots. But more shocking is the discovery of the self-aware memory expansion contained in non-human DNA, which could have bred android-human hybrids. But we'll never know because the show was cut short. There are enough movie elements to warrant the title Total Recall, although the creator, Art Montarastelli, leaned more into Blade Runner's visual style, which was easier on their slender budget versus creating the Martian environments, potentially on a weekly basis. Number 3, Invasion Earth, 1998. Something really wicked comes from above the UK. The first time was during 1944 during Germany's Blitz campaign over England. An alien craft and its occupants are downed and discovered by Lieutenant Charles Tyrrell of the Bomb Disposal Unit, and he later goes missing from the face of the Earth. Flash forward to the 1990s and a UFO is detected over the Scottish countryside. Flight Lieutenant Chris Drake and his tubby navigator Flight Lieutenant Jerry Llewellyn scramble to intercept, disobeying orders and shoot down the craft. The ensuing manhunt discovers Lieutenant Tyrrell is one of the pilots wearing an alien flight suit. Tyrrell's taken into custody by the military. He divulges that he had been abducted during the war by a peaceful race called Echoes, who had been waging a war of self-preservation against the malevolent NDs. And what's more unsettling is the terrifying revelation that this war will erupt upon the Earth. Of course, the military establishment doesn't listen to Major General Reese's dire warning until it's too late, so it's up to him and a squad of soldiers to repel the threat. Invasion Earth was a 6-episode miniseries produced by the Sci-Fi Channel and BBC Scotland. The story is well entertaining with lulls that could have been tightened up some. Nonetheless, not bad. but it does leave the audience teetering on a massive cliffhanger. Number 2, VR5, 1995. This short-lived series completely flew under my radar. It has a pretty interesting plot, which is shabbily told at times. Daryl Hannah's doppelganger plays Sydney Bloom, a nearly orphan young woman who works for Telcal, but tech savviness she inherited from her father, portrayed by David McCallum, leads to a strong interest in virtual reality. By accident, Sydney stumbles upon a way to connect with other person's subconscious over the phone line. The joy of connecting with her catatonic mother decomposes to becoming aware the co-worker she's crushing on wants to murder her, and almost does. In distress, she confides with Dr. Frank Morgan, the head of the virtual philosophy department at a nearby college. This pins Sydney to the mysterious committee's radar, and she's co-opted to do their bidding and use her VR gear to undertake committee investigations. Sydney encounters myriad situations via her VR technology, and it's these sequences that are the most fun. In particular, her seminal trip in the pilot episode amused me the most. Sydney terrifies her asshole neighbor, Penn Fraser Gillette, of Penn and Teller, and torments him into becoming obsequious upon her first accidental but successful real VR connection. Even though the episodes on YouTube aren't the greatest quality, they sure do augment the visual style of the VR trips. Case in point, Penn resembles the Joker in his VR representation. VR5 is a cool concept, but everyone's reality is different, so I'm gonna leave opinions about the show's execution up to you. Number 1, Mantis, 1994. Dr. Miles Hawkins is a brilliant scientist and humanitarian. He was also turned into a paraplegic by a police bullet while Hawkins attempted to save a child in the middle of a riot. Wheelchair-bound, Miles develops a powerful exoskeleton suit named Mantis, mechanical augmented neurotransmitter interactive system that not only allows him mobility but super strength and speed. Along with his creation, Miles teams up with British fellow scientist and co-developer of the Mantis suit, John Stonebrake, and the streetwise bike courier Taylor Savage. Together, they engage in ad hoc vigilantism and vendettas like many notable superheroes, Batman, Spider-Man, and Iron Man, so Miles has some lofty aspirations.
You don't scare me.
The series were created by Sam's Raimi and Ham, who are inextricably tied to Spider-Man and Batman. Superheroes aren't foreign to them. Additionally, Mantis is the first black live-action superhero featured in a TV series. That's today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.